Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for today's webinar, Inside Long-Term Care, the Frontline Perspective, co-hosted by CARP Ottawa and Family Councils Ontario. My name is Taeyang Zhang, and I am the Bilingual Events Manager at FCO, and I will be your co-host for today. Before we start, I would like to take a moment to recognize the land on which we are gathered today. I'm currently joining from Toronto, which is seated on the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit. So, want to share a few logistic and housekeeping rules before we turn things over to our co-host Carol from CARP, who will introduce our guest speakers. First, I would like to share this poll, just so we know where you are coming from, who is our audience, and I will leave it up just during the intermission. So if everybody could please respond, it will be much appreciated. And as you may notice, everybody is in listen-only mode for the presentation part. There will be an interactive question and answer period at the end. So I invite all of you to ask your questions in the Q&A box throughout the presentation, and Margaret from CARP will be joining to facilitate the Q&A session. And I will also activate the chat if you would like to share your reactions or thoughts or anything, connect with other participants and connect with us. You can use the chat as well. If you have any questions for FCO, for Family Councils Ontario, you can also put it in the chat or the Q&A, and then I will respond in the chat. Anything for the guest speakers, we will discuss it during the Q&A period. And as you may notice, this webinar is being recorded, so we try to record all of our webinars so that people have access to it and you can share it after the webinar. It will be posted on Family Councils Ontario YouTube channel next week. If you haven't subscribed to FCO's weekly e-bulletin that goes out on Wednesdays, I invite you to do so. That is where we will be sharing when the webinar is live. So, without further ado, I will pass it to Carol, who will introduce our guest speakers.
Thanks very much, and thanks everybody for joining us today. The Working Group for Long-Term Care out of CARP, the focus is to spread the word about all the innovative models that are out there. There's a few to choose from, and different long-term care homes are putting the various models in that fits with their culture and their education needs. And we've watched with interest how a lot of them have evolved and changed and adapted. Some have had more challenges than others, but we've had a number of speakers that have told us about their journey with either the butterfly model or the Eden model or the green, or pick one of the ones that are out there. We've had PSWs come and tell us a day in the life of and what it is to work in there and what do they see is the difference in their job. We've also had 3 family members come and tell us what they experienced as they watched the home that their mother or their father or aunt was in and the changes that they saw and how it affected them or not. Today is going to be kind of cool because we're listening to 2 provinces, Ontario and BC, and their journey that we went on, but we want to hear from frontline workers, the ones that are got feet on the ground, that are experiencing it, and what was the difference of their job. And we just don't want to look at PSWs. We're looking at all the disciplines. So we've got somebody who's a rec therapist and leisure person, and we've got a couple of PSWs, and they're going to tell us about what life is like from their point of view at the front line and what they perceive as the good parts and some of the challenges that they have. We asked them a couple of questions like, Does your home now reflect more of a home-like environment instead of a jail or an institution? Does the staff have input to how the care goes and how it changes? Do people listen to you? Um, what do you work as a team, or do you feel like it's you and the resident, or it's a family that goes? So listen to what they say and be prepared to ask them some questions about their reactions to it. So we're going to hear from Melissa first, and they're going to tell you their name and where they are and what kind of home that they work in. So I'm not going to take a bunch of time up now, but we'll listen to what's going on and as they share their ideas. So, Melissa, you're on.
All right. Hi, good morning, good afternoon, everybody, depending where you are. So my name is Melissa, and I work at Providence Living, The Views, which is on in Comox on Vancouver Island. So we are a brand new building. We're about a year and a half in our new facility. The design and care model have made a massive difference in both the lives for the residents living here and for the staff as well. So our building is a little bit different. It is kind of shaped like a giant donut. So all the households are all shaped all the way around. A central outdoor courtyard. We are very lucky in the Comox Valley. Our weather is much better than some of the rest of Canada. We don't get a lot of snow. So this layout is very intentional. It allows the residents to move freely and safely throughout the space. This helps them to maintain independence. Sometimes it even increases the amount that they walk. Areas that require restriction are secured with an access code. This allows safety without making the environment feel closed off, which is nice. So the courtyard is the heart of the home. So we have garden beds, we have a chapel, an Indigenous center, a playground, a barbecue area, and a designated smoking area just for residents. Because we were fortunate, because of our mild climate, we can take advantage of those spaces year round. So even in the winter time, it's very common to see residents walking around with a jacket on. Yeah, they'll go for walks. They'll stop in the other households because all the spaces are accessible from the center, which is nice. Yeah, so it just naturally creates spaces where people can engage. Residents will visit one another. They'll move between the households. Some will even stop for lunch. They'll have meals with each other. So this spontaneous interaction creates community between the different households and the residents. So back to the households. So each of our spaces, we call them households. So they're much smaller than a traditional facility. Each household is only made up of 12 residents, so only 12 people living within the space. The smaller size is important. It creates a much more home-like environment. That was kind of the goal of our new building, was a smaller, cozier space than some of the larger traditional institution settings. It allows residents to feel more comfortable, more relaxed, and more connected. So whenever you first enter a household, it's a very open concept, similar to most houses, the way they build them now. The kitchen is designed to be accessible. We have cups, juice, snacks, everything like that available. So if anybody wants a snack at any time or wants a cup of coffee or tea, it's accessible to the residents and family. This supports independence, allows residents to continue everyday routines that they would typically have if they like coffee after their breakfast or maybe an afternoon coffee while reading the newspaper, they can make that happen. In the afternoons, it's it's actually quite it smells so good in the afternoons. We have a lot of bakers Some of our residents love to bake all sorts of treats. Some of our staff like to bake all sorts of treats. So it can smell quite good, especially when we have special holidays or events coming up. Christmas, it just smelled like cinnamon around here. Um, yeah, so each household has a full kitchen. It has a living room, a shared living room for everybody. And then in their own bedrooms, they have their own bathrooms, their own showers. And to kind of cut down on the amount of clothes that can get lost, we have laundry facilities within each household, which is nice. So every night or every afternoon, we can do laundry. Say if somebody has a certain shirt that they like to wear, we all have our items of comfort or certain outfits. We can have that ready the next day, which is nice. This also allows some of our residents to participate in some of the tasks. This could be folding laundry if they want to. If they don't want to, they absolutely don't have to. We also have a spa room at the end of each household, so it's kind of shared between the two. So 24 per tub room, or yeah. We have a deep soaker tub. I know I would love to have one in my house that goes all the way up to the neck, which is nice if they want to. Kind of gives options, so a shower or a bath. So because we're only households of 12, it allows us to do really personalized care. We've got two care aides for each side. So for the 12 people, two care aides, which is nice. They really get to learn their schedule, their routines, their preferences, how they want their day to go. So this could be certain people like to sleep in. We all have, those days where we want to sleep in. That's okay. And we have people who love to get up early. We have staff available 24/7. So if they want to get up early, absolutely come on out. And then we have other people who just like to have quiet time. So maybe they like to get up early, but just like to keep it quiet. That's okay too. We totally have flexible schedules for everybody, which is nice. So we don't have like, oh, at 7 a.m., let's get everybody up. That does not happen here, which is nice. Um, so this way it kind of gives everybody personalized and gives them some independence too. They kind of get some say on when they want to get up. And also, two meals are personalized. We have a multi-service worker in each household. So each household has two care aides and a multi-service worker for the 12. So they can personalize their meals. We have meals, some set up, and then some we have just available within the household. So say if somebody doesn't like the meal coming up, we can make a sandwich. We can reheat leftovers, maybe from the earlier day. We have muffins, we've got eggs and toast available. We always have a stash of ice cream, just in case for those with a sweet tooth, because that's all right too. Um, yeah, so this way residents have a bit of control over what they're eating. We can kind of tailor their meal experience to what they'd like. And activities. So I come from an activity background. That's kind of my role within the facility. So within my role, we like to support the residents' quality of life. So we focus on what the resident enjoys to do. And we like to provide whatever leisure options we can within their interests and their abilities as well. So within the households with the 12, we can provide simple activities such as puzzles, reading, spending time outside in the garden, on the patio. We sometimes do larger events where we'll take the bus out, we'll take them out for lunch, we'll take them out for a picnic. Maybe we'll go to a museum. Maybe sometimes we just drive around the community just to get out. We'll grab some hot chocolate and donuts and kind of check out the area. And it isn't just about like how they spend their time, like it gives them a chance to do things that they used to do when they were living in the community. And it also gives them a chance to connect with people in the community, which is nice. Um, so within our environment, within this facility, teamwork is incredibly essential because as people learn preferences and what people like and don't like, we have to share that with our team. So, like I was saying earlier, each household has, so for the 12 residents, they have 2 care aides and a multi-service worker. And then for our nurses, we have an LPN for the 24. So the LPNs manage the 24. And then from an activity standpoint, we manage the neighborhood, which is all four, which is 4 households combined. So that would be roughly about 50 people that we kind of manage and figure out what they like. So we have regular shift reports. We have daily updates just to kind of check in, see if there's any changes, if there's any adjustments we have to make. Maybe there's preferences that we missed or appointments. So they also communicate between households, especially when residents are out visiting. So say if a resident goes to another household to have lunch, then that team will message the resident's household and say, hey, they're having lunch with us. We'll send them out after they're done eating or once they're done visiting, which is nice.
Melissa, I'm going to give the 1 minute mark.
Oh gosh, okay, really got to speed up. I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah.
So the smaller households, noticeable impact on social compared to the much larger traditional. Families and volunteers are a huge part of our home. Families are encouraged to be involved, share information, preferences, routines, personal history to provide most individual care. We hold care conferences where family can connect with all the different disciplines. And our volunteers contribute in many meaningful ways, assisting with activities, one-to-one visits, reading, sometimes even just a walking program. Overall, I love my job. I love the people that I work with, and thank you for listening to me.
Thank you, Melissa. I could almost picture that Comox. I've been through there, but I can
Yeah.
see what your garden and stuff like that. So that's been very interesting. So we'll head up to Maribeth and hear what's going on in the big city of Toronto.
Hi, good afternoon. I am Maribeth Batuigas. I'm presently working as a PSW for 16 years, but in SCOC, St. Clair O'Connor Community Center, I've been working for 7 years. In the nursing home that I work with, just a small home with 19 residents. So for 19 residents, PSW is 1:6, like one PSW for six residents. Our home is designed to be a safe, comfortable, and easy to navigate. When you enter the building, you'll find the main reception area where visitors are welcome and guided. We are located at the 3rd floor, and each unit have their own room, which is private or a shared room, with a common dining area and a lunch area where residents can eat and socialize. We have the nurse station at the middle so that staff can easily monitor and assist the residents at all times. We do have a meeting room or a den for activities for ball games, programs, like we had the gala nights. I assisted one of the residents to attend the gala nights, and I was feel I feel so impressed how she how she think that the memories came back by attending these gala nights. Aside from the den, we also have the outdoor, such as the garden and the courtyard, are also available for residents to relax and enjoy the fresh air. Overall, the layout is designed to promote comfort, safety, and a sense of community for all the residents. Working with seniors is a very meaningful to me. I truly value elderly because they live long lives and have many experiences and stories to share. They deserve to be treated with care, dignity, and respect. As a PSW, my goal is to help them feel safe, comfortable, and valued every day. In SCOC, the residents receive personalized and compassionate care. As a PSW, we help them with their daily activities such as bathing, dressing, eating, and moving safely. We always try to make sure that they feel comfortable, respected, and supported. Staff are also encouraged to spend time getting to know the residents. We learn about their personalities, their life stories, their hobbies, and then what make them happy. Building this relationship help us provide a better care because we understand their needs and preference. The schedule in SCOC are also flexible whenever possible. We try to respect residents' routine and choices, such as when they prefer to wake up. We don't force them to wake up. We wait until they are ready to eat or participate in their activities. By considering these preferences, we help them maintain the sense of independence and dignity. Our goal is to create a supportive and caring environment where residents feel valued and safe at home. Another thing that the nursing home or our SCOC special is the environment we create for seniors. In SCOC, we have two cats, Freckles and Patches, that live with the residents. They sleep with the residents. These Patches and Freckles bring comfort and happiness to many of our seniors. Some residents enjoy petting them, talking to them, and simply having them nearby. That help these patches and create a warm home feeling like. They reduces anxiety, agitation, and loneliness. They provide comfort to improve their moods, increase their daily joy. They have a social connection or interaction with the cats. So, aside from the cats, we do not use uniform. Instead, we use the regular clothes so that the environment feels like more relaxed and less like a hospital. This helps the seniors feel more comfortable and makes the nursing home feels like a real home. These small things make a big difference in their helping the residents feel happy, calm, and cared for. We do have students and volunteers. It's a big help, especially when residents to overcome loneliness, just as being with them, talking to them. Aside from students and volunteers, we recognize families and caregivers. They have they have a major role for us to know more about our residents. And also, our management in SCOC tries to listen to our needs and concern. When staff feel heard and supported, it helps us do our job better and provide a better care for the residents. For me, being a PSW is not just a job. It is a responsibility and privilege to care for seniors and make a positive difference in their lives. It takes a big heart to enjoy this work. Some days can be physically and emotionally challenging, but the smile, conversation with the resident, and trust, it makes a meaningful to us as a PSW. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. You make it sound like it's good to go to work.
Yeah.
So now we're going to go up north a little bit in Ontario, up to Temiskaming, and Megan's going to share her work and what her home is like.
Hello, everyone. My name is Megan. I've been a PSW for a few years, caregiver for many in my personal life. I just moved up here, and I was looking for facilities that would best suit me and how I wanted to give the care that I wanted to give residents or people in need. I came across Temiskaming Lodge. Temiskaming Lodge has the butterfly approach, where it emphasizes the dignity of our residents as community members, their emotional health, and seeks to build self-centered care around their specific needs. They lead with empathy, which is what I tend to lead with all the time. First becoming a PSW myself, biggest flack was, or remarks made was, I spent too much time with residents. And as I went on in my career, I thought that there must be a better way of doing this. There must be a better way of connecting with these people that we care for on a daily basis. So Temiskaming Lodge was my number one pick. And you walk into these doors, and as soon as you walk in, we are first entering the cafe that we have recently established with a local. She comes in and she does coffees and lemonades and sandwiches and baked goods so that families can come and have a treat with their loved ones, a little cafe, as you will, just to get them out of their home areas and just have that privatized moments with them. Off to the left, we have our celebration room. Our celebration room is used for all sorts of things, social gatherings, music. We have musicians come in and perform for our residents. We have the Mennonites choir come in, and the residents really do enjoy that one where they see the little kids singing, things like that. We just had a beach fun day. During the winter, we just got 65 centimeters of snow, so we just had a indoor beach party where the residents got to enjoy leis and tiki bars and mocktails and things like that. Our facility consists of 4 major home areas. Each home area consists of 32 residents. So in total right now, we have 128 residents. We are currently building an extension of that, so that will give us an additional 32 friends to join us. In our facility, we have a privatized laundry room where residents, if they want to do their own laundry, they can do it. We do have a laundry service that we do have, but they can go and do their own laundry as well. In the afternoons, you will walk through the halls and you will smell fresh baked bread that we do serve while they wait for their dinner to be served. Each home area are named differently. So it's named after significant locations in our community. So we have Mill Creek, we have Triangle Hill, we have Devil's Rock, and we have Pete's Dam. Each home area are mirrored, so they are similar, so when they go to different home areas, it's similar surroundings, so they're not confused or turned around as much. They are free to come and go as they please. They are free to go into other home areas and visit other friends that they have or see what's going on, because each home area may have different activities going on. We do have, generally, we try to aim for 5 PSWs per shift. So that gives us about 6 to 8 residents per person, depending on how we are for staffing. We do have spa rooms where we do our bathing. So, we don't say, hey, you're going for a bath. We say things like, hey, would you like to go to the spa today, get freshened up? It's all about our language at Temiskaming Lodge. We don't want to seem as a very clinical place. We want it to be very home-like. We do have family rooms where we have big TV, games, couches, interactive plays where they can do word searches, things to keep their mind still intact and always on the go if they are able to do so. Again, we do our holistic handover is something that we are asked as a group, as a team. Hey, what's going to be your holistic handover today as a team? Sometimes it's, hey, we're going to do movie night. We'll get snacks. And for those that like to stay up late, we'll do movie night or we'll do music. And one of the pods, music is a big thing. They respond well to it. We do have ways of serving. So we have, they come in and they sit wherever they would like. As before, it was designated seating. But they come in, it's your dining room, sit wherever you would like. First come, first serve, almost like if you went to a restaurant. We serve you if you came. We offer you the choices for dinner or whichever meal it is. We serve them the drinks. We make sure that they have topped up refreshments. We make it so that it's not such a facility. It's a home. We have bright colored walls. Things are all over the walls. We have sports memorabilia on the walls. We have music memorabilia on the walls. We have fishing. We have snowshoes on walls. We have baby items, like a clothes hanger. So there's baby clothes hanging on the lines. Each of our doors, so their rooms, their bedrooms, their doors look like a door that you would go to in a home, like their home. It's not like a blank door. It's just beautiful colored, decorated doors. Sometimes during Christmas, we hang wreaths on their doors as they would if they were at home. We really try to reach them emotionally at this point. There's a lot of them that don't get the family interactions that they would normally get. We do a lot of check-ins to see how they're doing. We talk with them. It is hard when you're just coming on board as a PSW. We are taught tasks. We are taught clinical. We are not taught how to make those emotional connections. It's something that you either you have it and you're good to flow with it, or it's something that you actually have to learn. And that is sometimes the hard part of it for others, is just learning and getting over that, hey, yes, I have all these things that I have to do, but I have missed the point that I'm dealing with a human being. We are dealing with humans. We are dealing with feelings. We are dealing with that emotional connection that they need. Sometimes I often ask them, my residents, do you need a hug? I can see that they're disgruntled. I can see that they can't verbally say what's going on, but I know that there's something that they are needing. So sometimes I just say, hey, do you need a hug today? And they'll often say yes, or they'll nod yes. And I believe, like, as people say, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. I believe that a hug a day keeps the doctor away, because it's giving them that connection. And often 9 times out of 10, I get a thank you at the end. I needed that, when they didn't really notice that they needed that. Working as a team, communication is key for everything. If we notice that a resident is really struggling, we tend to gravitate ourselves to that one resident, so that each team member can have an interaction with that resident, and just keeping sure that they're okay, that there's nothing that they need. We strive to make a better place for these people. They have lived full lives. They have lived a life before us, and they continue to live. And as we're in their end stages of life, we want to maintain that. We do not want to just say, well, you're put into this facility and you're going to be fed 3 times a day and that's it. No, we want them to give them a full life right to the very end. We want to give them that human connection that they all strive for. Temiskaming Lodge, we are, I would say, very family oriented. Every single person that goes into work there has a special connection to somebody. We are very family oriented in the way that we look at these people as our own family. We spend more time with them than our own at times. We care for them in the most intimate ways, and we want to show them the respect and the dignity that they deserve. There should be no reason that we can't give them that. There is no reason that we should not really, truly give them that love and that that compassion that they deserve. We always have activities packed for them. We have outings, so Walmart is an outing. We go to Giant Tiger. We go to local restaurants for some of them. We go to pumpkin patches. We go to the local fair that they go to. We pull out all the stops as much as possible. There's fishing that we do with them. We see what they like. We learn them. We learn what their do's and don'ts. We pay attention to the language that we use with them. And, we give them the ability to live the life that they want to live, not how we perceive that they should live it. It's not our perception, it's theirs. And it's an amazing journey to actually work how I want to work, how I want to connect with these people. So Temiskaming Lodge was definitely my number one pick, and they so graciously picked me, and I'm grateful for it. It's a great establishment. We are accredited 2 out of the 4 home areas right now. We are working on the 2 other home areas upstairs so that we can be a fully accredited home. And then when the extension is done, we'll get accredited for that as well. So yeah, thank you for listening.
Well,
When
thank you. Oh, sorry, Carol.
For the 3 people that were going to come in, we wanted to hear what your work was like. And you bring what it is a hard life to be a PSW and a therapist. So thank you for sharing it. One of the themes that came out was working in there, and you need to be the reason that somebody smiles. And it certainly sounds like that's happened with all of these guys. Mark.
Yeah, no, I agree with you totally, Carol. And I just want to say, first off, thank you to all of you. It's not easy to come on and share your day with us, and we appreciate the work that you've put into thinking about what you wanted to say. All 3 of you mentioned baking, and I just wondered, is that a thing? And how do you keep your weight off if you're baking every afternoon and feeding the residents? Is that a problem or no? Is that a challenge? Or it is a challenge.
It's a challenge to smell that bread and not want to eat it. So
exactly. Meghan, you touched on this, and maybe Melissa and Maribeth want to get in on this little question here. Do you think your training adequately prepared you for what you're actually doing in your long-term care right now? What do you think if you went back as a student, wherever you graduated from, and I have no idea where you graduated from, but what would you say to your professors and your teachers now after living this? Anybody?
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, for me, it's something that naturally comes to me. And for some people, it doesn't. So I would go back to my professors and be, if I was somebody that didn't lead with empathy and compassion, but in this job, it's almost like it's a requirement for me. And it's, if I know that I'm not quite there yet, how can I get there? What things would help me lead to become a better compassionate and empathetic person to people with care? How do I get to that point? Because some people they struggle with that, and that is a big struggle when we're doing the butterfly approach, because people again look at the task, they don't look at the human connection and what is needed on the holistic end of things. So
Would you
it's my
agree,
question is
Mary
like,
Beth?
how do we get there?
Mhm.
How do
Yeah,
we
sorry.
lead that way?
Right. Would you agree, Mary Beth?
For me, as a background, I'm a graduate of psychology, so I know each of the personality. Like being an old person, you know and understand what she's going through. Like them as a seniors, like they feel outcast. They feel like they're already useless. That's why, as a psychology, I feel what they are going through. So I have a connection with all the seniors because I can feel what they are feeling.
Good. And how about you, Melissa? Do you feel your training prepared you?
So my background's a little bit different than everybody else. So I come from a recreation background, which is very much focused on person-centered, instead of tasks. But I mean, there's always room for growth, right? There's always room for improvement. Um, I feel like it presents ideas, right? It presents of how we should approach things, and it's a whole nother thing to put those words into actions, right? So uh, you don't know it like until you're in the job and you get to interact with people, start building those relationships, and then you can really start building those skills and putting, you know, building the relationships, right? Relationships
Right.
make this job work, right? If
Exactly.
yeah.
Perfect. And so, what do you say to, I don't know if you congregate with others in your community or family or what, there are long-term care homes that aren't working like yours. In fact, there's a question up there in the chat box right now. How, like, what would you say to somebody who feels that their mother or their aunt or whatever is in a home and it's all about tasks and you don't give hugs, Meghan, and you don't spend time? What could you say to them? That it could be different? You're telling
Um,
us it can be different.
I I always tell families to advocate. If you feel that you're missing out on stuff, advocate. Because the residents can, or the people living with us can't always, use their voice, can't always advocate. So always, start conversations, ask questions. And that's the best way for change to happen is to ask questions and to advocate for sure.
Okay,
Agreed. Yeah.
good answer. So we do have a few questions up there. I'll deal with them as I see them come in. I'm not sure how anyone answered this one. There was a question about toilet slings. Do you use them? I'm not sure I can visualize the toilet sling, but
Mm.
this person on the chat line apparently they need to get one or whatever. There's an issue with that. Do you use toilet slings? Is that an issue?
So,
Yep.
so in our facility, we have a lift that goes straight from the bed right to the bathroom. So they can be
Right.
lifted with the sling directly overhead, without having to move the machinery. I know from a personal care worker, sometimes, the room sizes, it can be hard to maneuver the lifts and stuff like that. So we have it up on the ceiling,
Okay.
so it just goes all the way across.
Yeah.
Meghan? Yeah.
Yeah, we do. We don't have ceiling lifts in the rooms, in their privatized rooms. But we do use a sling and the Hoyer lift and where we direct them into their own bathroom that they have in their room with either on the commode or on the toilet, but yes.
Mary Beth, anything different there?
We have the same like Hoyer
Okay.
lift and a ceiling lift in the bathroom. So
Okay.
it's the same.
That helps them. There was another question. You all talked about lovely outings, and I was impressed with all of them. I mean, who doesn't want to go to Walmart or Giant Tiger or go go to a restaurant to eat if you're able, and so on? The question was, do you all have your own transportation? So is it a bus? Is it a van? Like, do you all own that in your homes to do that? Is the answer
Our
yes?
our home, we don't own a bus. We do rent buses um, to do these outings. The smaller buses we do rent out, and then we have the activity staff go with them, like
Okay.
accompany them. Yeah.
Right.
And
Melissa?
then for us, we have our own van and the activity staff drive it. So we kind of plan out we share the bus between each household. So the van is typically out 2 to 3 times a week, taking people out for different things. And it rotates through the household and we share. We try to ensure that everybody gets a chance out on the bus, even if it's just to drive around the community. But yeah, we try to rotate it and share the adventures.
Good. And Maribeth?
Um, we do have like they wanted to go to dollar store, so the activation will help them. Just they have a taxi to go on.
Taxi.
So
Okay.
yeah, taxi and transport, TTC transport to go with the residents. They
Good.
have a schedule going out.
Yeah. So there's different ways of doing this to get them out for sure. And so you've shown 3 different ways. Another question came in that are the PSWs assigned to the same residents on a daily basis or are you moved around? I think most of you answered that in that you're assigned specific areas. Am I correct? Megan,
Yes.
we'll start with you.
Yeah, I come in, I know what home area I'm working in most days and my line. We have full-time lines, but our facility has the right to manage. So depending on what our staffing looks like, situations like that. Like for me, I've worked in all 4 home areas. I pretty much know their routines for all the residents and stuff like that, their care needs, if they're extensive, total, things like that. But primarily we have set crew for each shift for specific residents. So we have A, B, C, D. We have certain residents for each line.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So just to follow up with Megan before I get to the others, you would know all your residents, though. I think the question's coming from the basis of, you might
Yep.
be moving, but the point is, do they know you? The residents know you. So, and do you know them? And does that help you with the care? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Okay.
tend to walk around and make myself known in all home areas. So,
Perfect. And how about you, Mary Beth? Are you with
Yeah,
the
we
same?
have. Yeah, I have the same residents every day. That's why even the family have a certain connection already. So I know them very well from the start of my shift until the end of my shift. They know
Right.
me very well. So, yeah.
Good. And you, Melissa, you have the different villages, I believe. So, yeah.
Yeah, so we have so in our facility we have 13 households altogether. But typically there may be a bit of movement, but we try to keep them typically within the same neighborhood. So instead of well, I mean, kind of very similar to Megan, she worded it a lot better. Um, but yeah, we have our usual lines, and then depending on what's happening, sometimes we do have to move some things around. But yeah, like for the most part, we try to keep it in the same households as much as possible.
Okay, that's good. And then there was a question here. One of you, and I think it was Mary Beth, and I suspect it's also Melissa, not sure. I don't think Megan, though. I'm not sure. You don't wear uniforms. Megan, do you
Yes.
wear uniforms? Oh, none of
we
you wear.
do
Okay, none
not,
of you
we
wear uniforms.
wear just our regular
Right.
clothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was that hard to implement, or did you just kind of come into your long-term care as a worker and it was already there, or did you go in when they implemented that?
So it was already implemented when I got there.
Okay.
But I like it because yes, it gives them the home feeling, but it also gives them a sight of how we are out in the community. It gives them
Right.
like the residents an insight of like how we present ourselves out in the community
Right.
and regular. So yeah, I liked it. So no complaints.
Melissa, you don't. It's so. Were you ever there when they didn't have uniforms? Did have uniforms and changed, or
Yeah, so originally in our old building everybody was in uniforms. Now we transitioned. So the majority wear maybe like scrub pants and then like a regular top. But it's all personal preference. So some people are more comfortable where others like to wear more casual. So it's kind of whatever people are most comfortable with is kind of what we go with.
Maribeth, you.
In 2023, when the Eden alternative philosophy already introduced to us, so we were able to use our casual clothes in order to work in the facility or in the home, just to encourage person-centered care. It promotes homely environment, and
Yes.
it minimize the us and you and us barrier. So it's equal perception for us to see us, not like if they see us in a scrub or in the uniform, they said, oh, there's a needle. They think of a needle. So that's why we don't use uniform. They are afraid of needles or any medications. That's why.
Right. Don't blame them, actually.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're all in this together, right? So when you wear your civvies, your regular clothes, it's more like home. It looks like home, right? So I'd like to just get back to this whole thing of tasks, medical model versus, home-like, which is obviously what we advocate for at CARP. And somebody made an interesting comment, which I tend to agree with a little bit. You can't teach compassion very well. You can't teach, emotional connectedness very well. It takes something within you, I think. And all three of you have shown by your answers today that you have it. There's this emotional connectedness that you share with the residents that you care for. And often I've thought that on hiring, maybe we should be hiring people that have that quality to start with. I wonder what you think about that. Have you noticed, and without name, don't get it yourself in trouble, and I don't want to do that, but have you noticed staff that maybe could use a little better in that regard, and you wonder, or no? I mean, I'm just, how do we get that emotional connectedness between staff and residents where you can sit, you can feel comfortable and hug, you can feel comfortable to just let things be and let people live the way they want to? Have you noticed staff that kind of struggle with that, and how can we help hiring in terms of getting the right people there? I don't know if anyone wants to take that one on. It's a toughie. Yeah.
One of the things I noticed is that whenever people are in a placement, so it kind of gives them a chance to get the feel for the work that they're doing. We've had a few students that were like, no, this isn't for me, just based on the placement, which just is nice. Like, it's nice having them come in, experience what the work is like, because we work in very, we are in everybody's personal space, right? We need to be comfortable getting close to people and having them comfortable and where we're comfortable. And so like work experience is a good way to kind of figure out if it is the right career path for some people.
Great answer. Great answer. What do you think, Meghan or Maribeth? Anything different?
For
me,
those
yes. Okay.
Go ahead, Maribeth. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. For the past years that I've been in SUC, I have a lot of students, and all that my students are being hired because I was given a chance to speak with my director of care, giving points that this is a good student. You can feel and you can see them when they are doing their placement. So I had a bit point to tell my director of care to hire these people, so I can see that during their placement.
Right. And Meghan, anything on that?
So generally when we have, so as the other two have said, we have preceptorship students, people that come on, just hired on for orientation. They're oriented for 8 shifts. So my big thing is lead by example. If I'm leading and I'm showing you the steps and how I interact with the residents and stuff like that, it's kind of like this is an expectation. And if you can't quite meet that expectation, you don't have to go full tilt like I am, like, because I'm a bit much, I will say that. But you know, if you can keep up, if you can just do the interactions, how we speak to our residents, how we, connect with them. If you can just merely do that and still do what's expected of us, it doesn't have to be hard. It's
Right,
the
right.
overthinking of it. So leading by example is a big one. And then just watching them. I'm a quiet observer. I don't say much. I observe. And then I'll relate back to my superiors and say, not so good, or need some work, or, good to go.
Hmm.
So really
Yeah,
depends.
I think student preceptorship is great. And
Yeah.
I'm glad that all your homes have that opportunity because you do get to see students in their work environment and how they might actually be with residents. And as you said, Mary Beth, you can then identify the ones that would work well with you. So I guess I'll just finish up with one more question here before we end here. And it has to do with you working in long-term care. Every one of you, each one of you have talked about how much you like working where you're at. What is the biggest challenge you have? Just one. And I know you all have a challenge. Without getting yourself in trouble, what's your biggest challenge?
I'll be straight.
Okay.
Sometimes you get burnt out.
Okay.
You put so much into what you do on a daily basis with your residents because you're ensuring that they are getting absolutely everything that they deserve. Everything from all specs holistically, they are given everything. But on the back end, I'm dying inside. Sometimes I am tired. And when I come home to my two babies and my husband, it's like, I have nothing left.
Mhm.
Because as a healthcare provider, it doesn't even have to be a PSW, it's healthcare across the board. You're hearing bells go off, you're attending to everybody's need. And then when you come home, you have a whole family sometimes that
Right.
have needs too. And it's just like, oh, I got nothing left. I've got no gas in the tank left, you know?
Mhm.
And it's recognizing when to give yourself some grace and some time for yourself to regenerate and just have the ability to say, no, I can't help you out with this. Because for me, I take on a lot at work. I'm part of the union. I help in the behavioral department. I help with all all sorts of things. And, I'm sometimes I have to know when to say no. But
Yeah.
for me, I'm a people pleaser because I'm in the healthcare position, I'm a people pleaser. So I try to please everybody, but recognizing that and just saying, hey, I'm burnt out. I need to take a step back. That's okay. That's okay.
Anything different
So
from
that's my
Mary?
biggest thing. That's
Yeah,
my biggest
good.
thing.
Yeah. Anything different there that you like to add? No, the same?
Same.
Okay. It's been a pleasure. I don't know, Carol, if you have any comments, but I just really want to thank you guys for coming on and sharing your experiences with us to show us that we can do things differently and that you're doing a tremendous job. Not
Mhm.
easy. We all think PSWs and activity people and rec people are really just the backbone of it all. So, Carol, have you got anything to add there?
No, the rec therapists were the ones that saved a lot of homes during COVID because
Yeah.
they were there and they were that face and put them together with their families. And we need to protect them because not everybody has one. But the teamwork that these guys do is the key. And to look after yourself is the other piece. Thank you. Thank you.
And over to
Thank
Teon
you.
now.
Thank you so much, Margaret. And thank you so much once again, of course, to our guest speakers, Maribeth, Megan, and Melissa, for sharing your story. It was really inspiring to hear all of this, and Family Councils Ontario, appreciate this collaboration with CARP and bringing focus to different people's lived experience with long-term care. So thank you so much for being here today, for sharing your stories. As I mentioned at the beginning of the webinar, this has been recorded, so if you would like to share after it is posted on Family Councils Ontario's YouTube channel, The next CARP event will be on Wednesday, April 22nd, if I'm not wrong. The information for that will be shared on next week's Family Councils Ontario's e-bulletin. So please subscribe if you haven't done so. And the next FCO event is happening on Wednesday, April 1st. So in 2 weeks' time. It is called Supporting Family Caregivers in Long-Term Care, Straightening Palliative Care Together. I will put the registration link in the chat if anybody is interested. But yes, so thank you so much, Margaret and Carol, our co-hosts from CARP. Always a pleasure to host these events with you both. And to everybody, all the participants for being so engaging and present with your questions. Thank you so much and have a good day, everybody.
Thank
Yes,
you.
bye.
Thanks. Bye.